Got a few onions that's laid over here. I think it's about time to pull some of these babies up and get them processed and get them in the refrigerator, especially the ones that's laid over. Because it's either get them up or they'll go south on you. Let me get the camera up here where you can see a little better. Get a few of those pulled up. Now those fairly decent onions. They're big as a softball maybe. I know that these could stay in the ground a little longer and maybe grow a little more. But I think that it's time to get them out. And when it's time to get them out, you have to weigh it out. And you're jeopardizing your onions if you don't get them now. It's like the old saying goes, a bird in hand's worth two in a bush. So when they're ready to go, you might want to get them, especially given rain today and this humidity. Might not be too good on them. They've done pretty good. What we do with these, we take these, clean them, take them and chop them up and freeze them. And that way, you've got onions all winter. Onions and bell peppers go well together. And there's some hid under the borage here. Yeah. Onions they like to be moist, I guess, when they're growing, but they can also get too moist. These is in fine shape, though. Good onions. It's time to get them out. We get them out, we can get something else put in their place. All right, that didn't take long. That didn't take long. Let me get you a picture of them. And they're all out and gone now. Let's go check the cabbage just for a second. I don't know how this autofocus is working. A lot of times it'll act pretty wonky. So with this lens, if I can go slow, maybe it'll focus properly. And I think, check the beans out. Just like I said, that's a baby bean. They get pretty big. I'm eating that one. A few zucchinis in there too. I see them. And those zucchinis are not going to stay on. There's one. Oh, goodness. These will get away from you. And we don't want that happening. I want them tender and young rather than to get old and full of seeds. And I think Stephanie may have already gathered these, but that's a good size. And they'll hide on you, the little buggers will. Oh yeah, look at that. There's a big one that's laying right on top that hid. And that's kind of the size that I was wanting to prevent them from getting. I'll bring this camera over here in a minute and show you. But anyway, we'll check and make sure there ain't no more hid in here. Yes, sir. There lays another one. Gotta get him out. They hide pretty well. They'll hide pretty well on you. They surely do, yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go over here and look at the zooks. Okay, there are little zooks laying down there. And that's the ones that was overlooked yesterday. Right there. Those are about the right size, really. Right here's, I think it's the right size, about that size right there. And this one's fine too. They'll get a lot bigger than that, but you don't want them to if you can keep from it. If you're going to eat them, it's according to what you're going to do with them. Anyway. We got a good rain last night. That'll bring the garden on. It'll really come on now. Especially the Hickory King corn. It's doing well. It's laying there with the leaves rolled up, just sitting there. And after that rain yesterday evening, it looks like that it growed a foot overnight. Borage, potatoes, they're falling over. Okay, let's go get the onions. Lots of onions. What I do is just take these onions, cut them off. Guess you can see them. Pretty good size onions. And if a person wanted to, you could save these greens, chop them up, but we've got another row of onions, so they've served their purpose. And they get a little stronger when they get big like this. I don't know if you can see me or not. I'll throw these in the bin and I'll check the camera. The compost bin. You know, if you was going to try to overwinter these by drying them, you just let these dry down. You wouldn't be cutting them off right now. But that's not my intention. We're going to freeze these onions. They're going to be frozen. So that means that we've got to get rid of all this green stuff and get ready to process them. Chop them up. All this stuff out of the garden goes in a compost pile. And hopefully it'll make some good rich dirt. There's no big trick to doing this. It's just cut them greens off the top of them onions. And get your onions ready to be processed. What I use is a Vidalia chop wizard. So like I said, there's lots of gimmicks and little items out there that you can buy. That there's a few that actually work, and the Vidalia chop wizard's one of them. They're tough. They are tough. That was loud. So, go away, bee. Some of the biggest onions, well, they're all pretty good size onions. And they clean up well. Take that outer skin off. That's an onion. Now I've got some garlic here. This is garlic. Elephant garlic. That's an onion. Some of the roots off, the little bubblets. I try to save them, throw them in the ground somewhere and they will come on. It takes a few years, but they make a pretty good onion, garlic. It's pretty good. It's foolish not to grow your stuff like this. It surely is. Now what I'm going to do is go turn the water hose on, or the pump on the well, and I'm going to wash these onions off. You know, the humidity's 90-something% this morning. It cooled off, but it's still 90-something%. I'll put the little wagon back in the greenhouse and get ready to wash them onions off. Well water, I say. Yeah. There's a big jet flying low. Then when you do this with this water hose, those loose skins, it'll blow them right out. You got a clean onion. Well, fairly clean. And then I have to let that drain. I'm gonna have to drill a bigger hole in the, I'm gonna have to drill a bigger hole in this thing to drain this stuff with. I've got some ties there that don't need to be there. Need to move that stuff and put it down there. Yeah, the holes, the drain holes that's in this big stainless steel table needs, they might be a ½ inch. I doubt if they're a ½ inch. 3/8 maybe. But they need to be 2½ inches as far as I'm concerned, where they can get rid of that water in a hurry. Like I say, it don't take long to spray those off. It's better to do it out here than it is to try to fight it in the house. It cleans them. Pretty good size onions. Like I say, that blows that outer skin off. Then you cut these roots off when you get done and trim them. Take a little of that greener outer flesh off these onions. And then you're ready to quarter them and chop them, put them in gallon freezer bags, whatever you want to put them in. I'll turn this back on when I'm done washing these. There's no need for me to sit here and keep washing onions. It's pretty obvious. I'll turn her back on in a minute. Okay, we've got them all washed out here now. Rinsed. And that's our little harvest of onions. Of course, we've done picked a few. Got a few out, about a gallon, in the freezer. And so I'll turn this water off now. In a minute, let's lay her down here and let it run. For right now. See, this wouldn't build up like this if I had a bigger drain hole in the bottom of this. It'll drain out. If I can take one of these tie wires and double it and put it down in that hole, in that drain hole. If I can find it, there it is. And what that will do, well, where'd it go? Anyway, it must have went plumb through. It'll drain out. It'll drain out. I'll wheel around here and show you the corn. See, it keep making you dizzy. You see the corn starting to tassel. Starting to tassel. I'll walk in there, see how tall it is. Give you an idea anyway, how tall it is. See, this is tasseling. Big Japanese beetle. I despise them things. But you can get out through here in the corns. This corn out here, not many of them, but this one right here, about 7 foot tall. Yeah, looks like a corn patch now. It might make a few if the coons don't decide they want it before I get it. I'm going to say that's going to be unlikely that happens. Be unlikely. What's the deal with my camera here? One leg's longer than the other. I shut down. That's better. That's a row of potatoes. Let me put this on autofocus. I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyway, there's a row of onions down through there. We've been eating them as little green onions. Because I'm sure that we've got probably all the chopped onions we'll need right there out of that little bitty patch. Once we get the bell peppers, a few tomatoes. And there's a few tomatoes. I pruned all them tomatoes through there pretty severely. Let some air flow, and the ones on the very end down there, I think I left, I don't know, it's 4 or 5, 4 I believe, tomatoes right there. And I'm not going to prune them unless I change my mind. I'm just going to let them go. And we'll compare them 4 out there to these that's pruned down through here. And see how they come out. I planted right there some little, I think they're called Sweet 100 tomatoes. And in that basket, let's get on over where we can see, is tomatoes. And you can tell that they're on their way, for sure. They're blooming. Got a fig in that blue bucket and a cucumber. Just trying to run out of there. Big old rhubarb plant. Yeah. Looking rainy. Might as well to walk over here with me and shut this water off, and we'll look at these squash over here. That's a cucumber right there. It's in a basket also. And I would assume, I think I see one hanging there. Let's see. See if I can't get that cucumber. Show you the cucumber anyway. Yeah, there's a little one. Cucumber. It's big enough to eat. And look in there hiding. See that? The little boogers will hide on you. There's one, pretty good sized. It's twice as big as that. And I'm sure more's in there. Yeah, there's one. Outside. Yeah. Doing pretty good. And there's a. Let me pull this up and show you. If I don't break it. This is a daikon radish. I suppose you can see that. But that's, Lord God, they get big. But that's a daikon radish. A daikon radish. Pretty good sized radishes. Daikon. Okay. I went and got some more batteries like it told me to. So you have to do what the camera says now. We'll walk over here and look at this little squash patch right quick. Right there's what dry weather does to your blueberries. I assume that's what happened. 3, and the one in the middle died. Don't make no sense to me. That's pumpkins, little tommy toes coming on. Got a row of sweet potatoes that started down through there. And down on that end, looks like I got plenty of weeds started. Over here's the cucumbers, which is getting overtook by the butternut squash. We'll ease right over here and see if we can't see a butternut squash. I'm sure there's some lurking. Yeah, that center screen right in there lies that's a spaghetti squash. And there's some butternuts in there. It's hard to see, but they're there. They're there. I'll back up here and I'll see one. Maybe you can see that one. Center screen. Butternut. Patch is not looking too bad. That should produce all those, there's a few zucchini out on that far end, them tallest ones right there. That should produce all the butternut squash and the spaghetti squash that we possibly would need. And over there at that pumpkin, center screen, you can see that little pumpkin there starting. And every one of them down through there's got a few, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 13, 15 or 16 plants. So if one pumpkin per plant is what we get. We've probably got enough. Yeah. Go shut this water off right quick. Took a little flight in the drone today over the garden just a little bit. I may add that in with this. I heard a chainsaw running back over on the back 40. And I thought, of course I didn't think it's no problem, but I just flew back there and looked around. It was a neighbor down on the corner here removing a few trees probably that had been blown over. Okay.